I want to welcome you to the video for time value of money. That's what we're going to explore today, both using the table method and the Excel method. So it may take more than one video, we'll see. But the whole concept of this, you have to know what the tables are for. Table 1 that we're going to be referring to is for the future value of money. This is when you make a deposit today and you want to know what's it going to be worth in 5 years or 10 years from now at a certain interest rate. That's table 1. It's a one-time payment. What's it going to be worth? The future value is you make a one-time payment. You make a multiple payments over the same time period. So every year you're going to put in $200. You want to know at the end of 5 years what's it going to be worth at a certain interest rate. So you know what the present value is. You just want to know what the future values are. Table 3 is the present value. This is a you know what the future value is going to be. You know in 5 years you're going to receive $300,000, and you're saying, okay, it's 8% interest. What would it be worth today? So you want to bring it discounted. It's kind of like a discount. What's it worth today? Whereas table 4 then is an annuity, which means you're going to receive $800 for the next 5 years at the end of each year, and you want to know what's it worth today. That's, you know, the future values. You want to know what the present value is going to be. And table 5 then is the same type of thing. It's an annuity, and you're going to receive the $800, but the difference is instead of at the end of the year, you're going to receive it at the beginning of the year, and you want to know what's it going to be worth now. Okay, so with that, we're ready to get started. I have some of this already filled out because there's not a whole lot. This is looking up the tables. We're going to go over it and the dollar amounts here. Okay, so for the first one, it says, what is the value on January 1st, 2022? $50,000. You made the deposit on the 5th in 2015 on January 1st. So if you count up the number of years, it would be, since it's annual, it's 7 years, and it's 12%. Now, to get this table, to look at what we're doing, we want the future value. So we go to table 1, and you would look at 12% interest and go down 7 periods. And you'll find that that should equal 2.210681. So to come up with your solution then, you would take the 50,000 times the 2.2. Okay, and you'll come up with 110,543.05. So what you're saying is, if I invest 50,000 today, wait 7 years at 12% interest, at the end of the 7th year, I'll get back $110,534. You can also do this with Excel. So I said that was future value. Your rate is 12%. Number of periods is 7. Now we want, this is an annuity. This would put 50,000 in every year. We don't want that. We want the present value, and it's a payment, so it's a minus 50,000, and you see that it's 110,534.07. So it's off a couple pennies, and that's because of rounding. Okay, for the next one, what is the value of January 1st, 2021 of $10,000 deposited, this time's on July 1st, so we did a little different, which accumulates interest at 16% annually. So the number of payments then is going to be equal, well, it's 6 years and it's paid quarterly, so that's times 4, but we want to subtract 2 because we didn't start till July 1st, so it's 2 quarters that are out of there. So that's 22. The interest rate again will also be 0.16%, but divided by 4 because it's done quarterly. So for this one, you want to look at 4% on table 1, 4%, 22 payments. Okay, so then I'll multiply those two out. So we have the 10,000 times the 2.3, and you get 23,699. Okay, equal, for the future value, the rate is 4%, because that's what it is quarterly. Number of periods, you have 22 periods. Okay, again, 2 commas because it's a one-time payment, and a minus 10,000. And you see that it comes up to the same numbers this time. Okay, for the next one, what is the compound interest on investment of $7,000 left on deposit for 5 years at 10% annually? Okay. Now this is a little tricky on how it's worded. It looks like it's $7,000 on 5 deposits. Okay, so we have 5 periods at 10% interest. Again, we go to table 1 and we come up with this one. But the problem with this is we'll take equal the 7,000 times the 1.6. But in this case, we also then want to subtract one of the $7,000 payments because we're not going to earn interest on that. We only actually make 4 payments. And then this is equal to the same type of thing, future value. The rate is 10%. Earn interest for 5 periods. Again, it's a one-time payment of $7,000, but we have to subtract off one of the 7,000s because we only made actually 4 payments of $7,000. Okay, for 5 years. All right. Cheetah Lynch deposited $20,000 in a special savings account that provides for interest at the annual rate of 12%. This time it's semi-annual. So the number of payments would be so it's going to be 4 times 2. So I have 8 payments. The interest rate is 0.12 divided by 2, or 6%. So again, we go to the table 1, look at 6%, 8 payments, and you should come up with 1.59. Okay. So this one is equal to the 20,000 times, or the 31, okay? And this one is equal to, again, future value. The rate is 6%, comma, number of periods is 8. Again, it's a one-time payment, so it's a negative 20,000. So you come up with the same results. Okay. So it's a equal future value D13, the rate, which is 6%. Now, a lot of times I'll do this in the calculations itself. I'll take this 0.12 divided by 2 like I did here, but you can also do it this way. Okay. The present value of $35,000 due in 21, discounted at 12% annual payments. Okay, so that's a simple. What was that? 35,000. Yeah. 5 at 12%. This time we use table 3 because it's a little bit different. This is the present value of it this time, not the future value. But so use the different tables. All you have to do for that, and take it times this one. So you get 19,859. Okay. Now present value. This is the same rate. It's still 12%. Number of periods is 5. 2 commas, negative. Future value is 35,000. So you come up with the same answer. So what is this really telling you, though? This is telling you to receive $35,000 at 12% in 5 years, you would be willing to invest $19,000, almost $860 into it. So it's off a penny, depending which way you go with it. But that's basically what it's saying. It's what is it worth today, discounted at a 12% rate. Okay. This one is what's the present value. July 1st of 2016 is when you put the investment of $12,000 in, and you want to get it out January 1st of 2021. Okay. So again, we would have the number of periods is 5 times 4 minus 2. And you have to put an equal sign in front of there. So that gives you 18. Interest rate, it's done quarterly, so it's 0.16 divided by 4, or 4%. So we look at table 3 and go to 4% for 18 periods, and you come up with 0.49. So now you multiply those two together, and you get 59.2354, and this is the present value of it. The rate is 4%. Number of periods is 18. Again, it's 2 commas. And negative 12,000. And you come up with the same results in this case. Okay. For this one, what is the amount? Where's it at? What is the amount of the present value discount the difference between the future value and present value on $12,000? Okay. So this is for the 12,000. We have 5 periods and 10%. Present value is table 3. Okay, so you multiply those out. Now, 12,000 times table 3, and you get 74. Okay, what happened here? Oh. Yeah. Because it says, what's the amount of the present value discounted? The difference between the future value and the present value. So the future value is 12,000. Yeah, there's a difference. So you find the present value, and that's finding the present value. So over here we have equal the 12,000 minus the present value. Rate is 10%. Number of periods is 5. 2 commas minus 12,000. So you come up with the penny off. Okay, because it said what's the difference between the present value and the future value? Well, we know the future value is 12,000, so we don't have to discount it, but we have to find out what the present value of 12,000 is, and then subtract them is what we're doing on that one. Okay. What's the future value on December 31st, 2022 of 7 annual cash flow payments? So we know this is 7, and the interest rate again is 12%. This time is table 2. And we come up with 10.0. Okay, so it's equal the 10,000 times this one. It gives you 100,892, and this one is equal to the future value. The rate is 12%. Number of periods is 7. And minus 10,000, because this is an annuity. Okay, so it says what's the future value of an annual cash flows? So that's an annuity. Okay, and this one is what's the future value of annual seven annual cash flows of $10,000, with the first cash being made on December 31st of 2016. On this one, it was December. Interest rate is okay. This one is, what's the difference between the two? Still 7, 12%, table 2. Okay, so this is going to be equal to the 10,000 times this cell times 1.12. Okay, and this one is equal to the future value of the rate, 12%, 7 payments, minus 10,000, and a 1. Okay, this is the differences when the first cash